Hello, a very good afternoon and welcome to Nationwide, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Justin Bemunyi. The current administration of President Bola Tinubu is pressing on with renewed efforts towards consolidating on the gains of the nation's democratic journey. The president said this in a special address to a joint session of the National Assembly on the occasion of commemorating the June 12, 1993 elections, largely believed to have been won by late Moshood Abiola. In the aftermath of the election's annulment, many civil rights activists mounted advocacy for the people's mandate to be restored to the rightful owner, and their efforts had not gone unnoticed by President Tinubu as he used the opportunity of the commemoration to confer national honors on many of the activists, including late Niger Delta activist Ken Saro-Wiwa.
The reforms have placed the economy on a more rational footing, where critical decisions regarding the large-scale investment can now be made. We are making agriculture more sexy by providing tractors, and I ask you, the legislature, to join me as we enter the second half of our term to put forth innovative legislation that further encourages industrial development and job creation in our urban centers, while also drafting laws that improve food security and production. To further underpin our economic vision, we introduced a competitive tax reform package, a vital component of our economic re-engineering. I am deeply grateful to both chambers of this House for your thorough consideration.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and Speaker, House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, were also conferred with national honors by the President. As Nigeria bows to yet another cycle of democracy celebration, it is crystal clear that this journey of many decades may not have reached its peak, but culminate in events in the past, especially in the reversal of May 29 to June 12 as an official date for the national event. It's a major development that gave validation to the source of a forceful spirit that changed the history of post-military era. Now, political correspondent Abubakar Kwanga gives us a breakdown of series of happenings that shaped the face of Nigeria's political evolution and governance.
I, Olusegun Obasanjo.
I, Olusegun Obasanjo.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will be faithful.
That I will be faithful.
Major power play continues, opposition gets tougher, and the players sometimes say it is the beauty of democracy.
What I know have achieved is the fact that militarism is over. And gradually, I'm not aware too that people are incessantly arrested, harassed, and all that. And what I've seen, what I can tell you, is that our democracy is in course. Okay? If we're on course in our democracy, it means, of course, that we shall get to the promised land.
This metaphorical expression makes the game even more interesting for more than 2 decades now. But one historical fact that could not be forgotten or completely erased is the June 12 scenario, which resonated and restored hope.
June 12 now being the watershed that it was, is now the Democracy Day, as opposed to the May 29, where our current dispensation started May 29, 1999. So it is in recognition of what June 12th represents in Nigerian political history.
Today, Nigeria is set to become a wonderful country. And all this is because of the president going in as a serious businessman.
One of the spectacular displays of the opposition under Nigeria's democratic rule was the political force that gave birth to the 2015 APC presidency that ousted the 16 years PDP presidency through merger by key opposition parties as well as faction of the then ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP.
And I can tell you, our leadership system today is a product of our choice as electorates. If we come out en masse and vote in one direction, as we did in 1993, we will always have the results.
Why the democracy ran under the military presidential watch remained a theory many scholars and ardent political followers still ponder for an answer. Despite unfolding events, Nigeria has survived more than 2 decades of civil rule, and the journey to stardom continues. While some say democracy has come to stay, others think the major ingredients that make democracy work should be made a potent ritual for future posterity. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
As Nigeria celebrates Democracy Day today, the government and people of Ogun State converged on the family compound of the late Moshood Kashimao Abiola to join the family in a special prayer for the repose of the soul of the martyr of democracy in the spirit of June 12 Democracy Day celebration. Now let's have details from Lekon Abundi.
Over the years, as part of events to commemorate June 12 Democracy Day, the people of Ogun State gather at the MKO Abiola family residence in Abeokuta for these early morning Islamic prayers in honor of the sacrificial contributions of the late business mogul and patriotic hero of democracy, Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. Ogun State government delegation, led by the Deputy Governor Noimot Salako Oyedele, joined members of the Abiola family and Muslim leaders to offer prayers for the repose of the soul of not only of the late MKO Abiola, but also of those who sacrificed their lives for the entrenchment of democratic governance in Nigeria.
Despite several challenges, we have all stood firm. And I think this is a fantastic legacy for our father. We want to thank Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his tireless support for the ideals of democracy and also for the person and the family of Bashir MKO Abiola.
The federal government has been able to confer GCFR upon our father. Yes, that is a great step in the right direction, and it is our hope that the federal government can permanently sign a bill saying that future generations would not abolish Democracy Day in recognition of our father. Why? Because some generation currently don't understand the value or the sacrifice of late MKO Abiola.
He is optimistic of the capacity of President Bola Tinubu to take steps further in honoring the memory of their late father. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
We now take you to Lagos, where Hingino is standing by. Hello, Hingino.
Justin, and welcome to Lagos. Different interest groups and organizations have gathered at various locations in Lagos to mark June 12, a historic day in Nigeria. Lanre went round the metropolis to capture the celebration.
Well, the usual hustle and bustle in Lagos State has gone down a notch. The shops, most of the shops are open, but there's a low business patronage, and that is understandable because it's a public holiday and people are in their homes. But the striking thing as I go around the metropolis is that each organization that decided to mark this year's Democracy Day marked it in its own unique way. While some are doing a peaceful protest around the metropolis about the harsh economic realities, some it's time to celebrate Democracy Day.
this panel of discussion, where political actors deliberated on issues around resilience, the present and the future of democratic dispensation in the country, was organized by a faith-based establishment.
We all need to come out and participate. One way or the other, from your local level to the state to the federal level, we all need to come out and participate and at least act, so that at least in the next future we can be talking about better Nigeria.
We have to be calculative in our haste. We have to be in a haste, but slowly, and with time we will get the desired result.
There was heavy security presence in all areas visited in the metropolis to deter any mischievous or unlawful activities. In Lagos, Lanre Bilayi, NTA News.
Nigeria's 26 years of unbroken democracy has been attributed to the sacrifices of late Chief MKO Abiola and the electorate who defied ethnic and religious differences to vote for good governance during the June 12 presidential election. Joel Popola reports that beyond the yearly celebration, political analysts are urging government at all levels to deepen democratic principles and enact policies that promote human development.
12, a significant day in the annals of Nigeria's political history, as we shape the nation's political landscape, we echo in the desire of the average Nigerian for masses-oriented governments. Political analysts say one of the major lessons inherent in June 12 is the fact that the voice of the people cannot be silenced, as the consistent demand for the recognition of June 12 and the winner of the election eventually culminated into the formal recognition of June 12 as Democracy Day.
Now, what about him that is very significant is he refused to back down even unto death. If we have Nigerians like that, it will be a great...
He could have come from any tribe. It doesn't matter. You are one and the same.
The expectations of the electorate that came out en masse to cast their ballots in the 1993 presidential election are high, and many of the demands are still very relevant till date, and these respondents say should be addressed for Nigerians to enjoy the dividends of democracy.
We have to remember that democracy is something that we take as an important, you understand? So everybody that is involved should all come together, team together in one spirit of awakening.
We have gained many things after what happened at June 12. At least the democracy now come back to stand in Nigeria again.
As various activities to commemorate the day continues, having a credible electoral process that will lead to minimal litigation is a major consensus of stakeholders. In Lagos, Joel Popola, NTA News.
That's it from here. Time now for some messages. Nationwide will be back in Kaduna after the break.
Kaduna and Happy Democracy Day. The Emir of Benin Gwari Zubairu Jibril Megwari II has reaffirmed the commitment of his Emirate Council and that of the government of consolidating on the peace path reaching the area. The Emir disclosed this during a stakeholder security meeting that brought together the Fulani community, religious and traditional leaders in his palace. Suraj Abdullahi reports.
The meeting, organized by Benin Gwari Emirate and Local Government Council, brought together critical stakeholders, including the Fulani leaders, associations, civil society groups, and security, to discuss the recent cases of theft of motorcycle and phone snatching alleged to have been committed by repentant bandits in the outskirts of the town and villages.
We have succeeded in calming everybody down. From the testimony of most of the groups, we have achieved 90% of peace with these people, except some few small things which we are addressing.
Those people that are taking motorcycling and snatching for funds and some money in the bush or in the farms, we will call them, the leaders, to ensure that people will start doing that.
The meeting identified ignorance, drug abuse, and unemployment among the repentant bandits as the major causes of the problem. The chairman, Benin Gwari Local Government Council, Salisu Issa, said Government is committed to ensuring total restoration of peace across the state through laudable initiatives by Governor Obasani.
We agreed on, let us use the Salah opportunity to call them and sit down together and discussing the present issues that will sustain and help this peace accord atmosphere in the local government.
He assured the people of the area of Governor Obasani's commitment to providing more infrastructural facilities, as the governor is currently doing everything possible to see that Birnin Gwari to Kaduna and Birnin Gwari to Funtua roads are fully rehabilitated to boost economic and commercial activities in the area. In Kaduna, Suraj Abdullahi, NTA News.
And still on security matters, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluede, says more operational platforms will be injected into different theaters of operations to address evolving security challenges in the country. Correspondent Haruna Muhammad reports that the Chief of Army Staff stated this at a graduation ceremony of exercise Restore Hope 8 of the Nigerian Army base camp in Keche local government area of Kaduna State.
They are queens of the battlefield, infantry warriors, a special intervention battalion as demonstrated in reactive shooting and tactical display, with each soldier dominating his sector with speed, precision, and teamwork. With the ability to engage the target accurately and in hand-to-hand efficiency, they are ready to neutralize any threat in defense of Nigeria's territorial integrity. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluede, represented by the General Officer Commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Landa Sarasu, charged the troops on the mission ahead.
I therefore urge for the effective application of these skills in the planning and conduct of operations across the country.
He cautioned the troops on the need to live up to expectation of the nation and the Nigerian Army.
Line with the contemporary challenges that the Nigerian Army is facing nationwide. The men underwent training covering various aspects of both kinetic and non-kinetic areas to prepare them for the challenges they are going to meet in the field. Today we have seen a clear demonstration of the skills that they have acquired, especially in the aspect of marksmanship, that is weapon handling. Having undergone specialized 6 months of rigorous training, these special forces are now ready for deployment across various theaters of operations in the country. From the Nigerian Army Base Camp Kachia, I am Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Thank you, Haruna, and that's our contributions from Kaduna Nationwide continues in our Abuja studio. Thank you for watching.
Well, thank you so much, Mohammed Umar Ajingi. Thank you so much. And I'm still talking Democracy Day. It is a day of deep national reflection and celebration across Nigeria, a commemoration of the historic June 12, which was regarded as the freest and fairest election in history. In this report, Susan Isu takes a look at the significance of June 12.
The federal government in 2018 officially declared June 12 as Democracy Day to replace May 29. Decades later, has Nigeria made any progress in its democratic history?
I'm not going to say that our elections are perfect, but to a large extent, we have been able to overcome the incessant military intervention.
If we remember June 12, it's a pain in our neck, telling us that we have not moved at all, because presently, the same system is neither here nor there.
It hasn't been rosy, but so far, so good. We have achieved a lot of milestones as Nigerians.
As the country reflects on her democratic journey, what are the hopes for Nigeria's democracy going forward?
All we need to do, we have to sit back, re-examine ourselves, and begin to talk. That's the only way we can think of.
I think we need to have a reformed voting system.
From the echoes of 1993 to the realities of today, June 12 stands not just as a date in history, but as a symbol of the enduring hope for a better Nigeria. In Asaba, Susan Isu, NTA News.
Democracy, popularly described as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, is a type of representative government where the people rule with their civic power. Away from dictatorship, democracy has been sustained in Nigeria in the last 26 years. Is Kwara State getting it right 26 years after the return of democratic rule in 1999? Well, let's find out in this report by Aisha Abubakar Yahya.
As one of the oldest states in Nigeria, is one of the earliest federating units of democratic Nigeria. 26 years after, have the people of Kwara State really enjoyed the dividends of democracy?
The enjoyment of democratic dividends in Kwara State is of mixed feeling. Mixed feeling in the sense that the ingredients and components that are meant to be driving the democratic gains for the citizens are in two ways. That people are even voting for who they think should be their governors and their representative is one gain compared to when we were in the military. The major challenge right now is citizens hardly engage those at ends of affair when it comes to the issues that borders on their well-being and democratic dividends. Rather, it is psychophancy all the way.
Best way is for us to have individual different ideas, different focuses, to appreciate democracy, to focus on how we can use it to empower ourselves, how we can use it to grow to our own state, our own nation.
Before democracy began in 1999, citizens' freedoms were, restricted. But now, there's a lot of freedom, liberty.
Kwara has never witnessed a state of emergency, having ensured an harmonious relationship among the three arms of government. The check and balance has sustained the continuity of democratic government and as such brought a massive development to the states, ranging from urban renewal projects of the current administration, in which many roads have been rehabilitated and reconstructed, to the provision of various healthcare facilities, as well as massive overhaul in the education sector. Aisha Abubakar Yahya, NTA News.
We now take you to Jos, where Bilikisu is standing by. Hello, Bilikisu.
As part of activities to mark Democracy Day, Plateau Governor Caleb Mutfwang inaugurated some projects in Jos. Indian and Abuja reports.
To reduce transportation challenges, Governor Mutfwang inaugurates some metro buses, urging citizens to remain supportive of government's policies and programs.
What has been demonstrated that with a clear and patriotic leadership, that every institution on the plateau can be revived. Today, we have revived Plateau Express Service, we are reviving ASTC, we are reviving JIB, we are reviving Panyam Fish Farm, we are reviving Hill Station Hotel, and let me tell the people of Plateau State we have just started.
Towards revolutionizing healthcare delivery in the state, Governor Caleb Mutfwang inaugurated a laboratory complex and administrative block at the Plateau State Specialist Hospital. The project is part of government's commitment to enhancing healthcare delivery.
It's our pleasure to formally declare it for use by the public to the glory of God and for the benefit of all.
Governor Mutfwang also inaugurated Utonko Bridge and adjoining roads at Abattoir to enhance urban renewal program.
At the moment, over 3,000 kilometers of roads are being visited across the state. They are in various stages of completion. And by the grace of God, we are determined to uplift the nature of the road infrastructure in the state.
While inaugurating the administrative block and the array hall at the State Polytechnic, Governor Mutfwang promised to sustain efforts at providing democratic dividends to the citizens in Jos, Indenyan, and the Abuja, NTA News.
Wife of Plateau Governor Caleb Mutfwang has flagged off the 2025 seasonal malaria chemo prevention campaign in Jos, reaffirming government's commitment to eliminating it, particularly amongst children under the age of 5. Ijoma Ozomina reports.
Seasonal malaria chemo prevention, SMC,
is a proactive strategy designed to prevent malaria within vulnerable population, specifically targeting children within the age of 3 to 59 months in the sub-African region. Other malaria elimination strategies that complement include appropriate use of insecticide-treated nets, malaria vaccines, and environmental sanitation. In Plateau State, concerted efforts in the fight against malaria has reduced its prevalence from 35.8% in 2015 to 18.8% in 2021, a powerful testament to collaborative action. Speaking at the official launch, Helen Mutfan described malaria as the third leading cause of death in children under 5 years.
To ensure a successful SMC campaign, the state government has approved the use of up to 800 health facilities and in collaboration with Malaria Consortium, deployed over 11,000 ad hoc staff to conduct the exercise across every community in Plateau State.
Plateau State Deputy Governor Josephine Pugh highlighted the progress recorded since the introduction of the SMC initiative in Plateau State in 2021.
This intervention aimed at safeguarding the health of our children aged 3 to 59 months during the rainy season is a beacon of hope in our fight against malaria.
The stakeholders emphasized the importance of partnership and awareness to eliminate the disease in Jos. Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Jos. Benin is standing by for more reports, but after this break.
It's nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Happy Democracy Day and welcome to Benin. As Nigeria marks 26 years of uninterrupted democracy, citizens have advocated strong democratic tenets for sustainable civil rule in the country. Elizabeth Omoko reports on views of a cross-section of Nigerians on the nation's democracy so far and the way forward.
In 2018, President Muhammadu Buhari's administration recognized Abiola as the winner of the annulled election and posthumously conferred the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic, GCFR, honor on him. As Nigerians commemorate June 12, respondents in Benin acknowledged the progress made while emphasizing the need to address the legal issues.
It marks when we had our freest election, as these democracy days, that where there was no problem during elections.
But our youths now, they are now disoriented, maybe because of social media, because of foreign influence. So we really need to work on the youths.
The time when I just married, now 15 naira my husband they give me to go to Oba market to cook soup. And I go cook and change go remain. I go pocket the change.
We don't dey for the Nigeria. We go there finish. We not get where they go. Now all of us go make the Nigeria better.
Also in Ado-Ekiti, stakeholders are advocating political will and concerted efforts of Nigerians towards sustaining democratic system in the country.
That was the day we had one of the fiercest elections in as far as the Nigerian electoral process is concerned.
There must be discipline within the governance, the government, and the people.
Abiola's message of farewell to poverty continues to resonate. As Nigeria celebrates June 12, citizens and leaders alike are reminded of the importance of upholding democracy and working towards a brighter future. In Benin, Elizabeth Omoko, NT News.
Away from democracy, the intervention of the Edo State government on the Benin-Uri-Ekpeng Federal Road is said to have reduced travel time to less than 1 hour. Governor Mondo Peolo, on an on-the-spot supervision, attributed the progress made on the road rehabilitation to the state's alignment with the renewed hope agenda of the president. Goodluck Enaini reports.
The Benin-Uri-Ekpeng Federal Road is another major artery linking the states to the northern part of the country. Before now, it takes motorists plying the route over 1.5 hours to access the road, but now there is a change in the narratives, courtesy of the state government's intervention. The governor is pleased that the intervention has significantly reduced travel time between Benin City and Uri-Ekpeng in East and West local government area.
Today is 45 minutes from Benin to Ishan.
and everybody can testify to that. The Renew Hope agenda of Mr. President, that is our key. The President will always ask you, what are you doing for your people? That is the boldness we have, and we continue to work for our people. The reason why we were elected is because Edo needed a change, and that is the change they desired, and that is what we are getting today.
Representative of the construction company, Bajwa Mohammed, said the road has significantly improved the travel experience of commuters, reducing the transit period for journeys from Benin City to Ekpoma. In Benin, Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. It's back to Justin in Abuja for continuation of Nationwide.
Well, thank you so much, Edwabong. Now, moving on, the Charismatic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria has re-echoed its support for the present administration as it celebrates 2 years in office and Nigerians' 26 years of unbroken democracy. This resolution was made at the 11th Synod of the Charismatic Bishops' Conference in Abuja. Omeka Marachuk was there and now completes the report.
The Charismatic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria is a key organization that promotes unity and solidarity among the faiths. Over 3,000 members across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, it plays a vital role in propagating the teachings of Christ, promoting justice, peace, and unity among Nigerians.
We are patriotic Nigerians, and God also divinely orchestrated that our Charismatic Synod, our annual synod, the 11th one, should coincide with the Democracy Day, and we are using the synod to intercede for our country because of the, everyday killings of Nigerians.
The Charismatic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria also called for national coexistence among Nigerians. In Abuja, Omeka Marachuk, NTA News.
The legislature, as an arm of government, plays a pivotal role in sustaining democratic governance in any given society. Lagos State House of Assembly is saddled with the responsibility of making laws for good governance across the metropolis. How has this arm of government fared in its constitutional obligations? Musa Toliat in this report takes a look at the contributions of the legislature in promoting democratic ideals for all-round development in Lagos.
Lawmaking, representation, oversight and other functions relating to its duties have remained major functions of the Lagos House of Assembly, like other legislative houses in the country. Since the country returned to civil rule in 1999, the need for effective legislative coverage necessitated the division of the state into 3 senatorial districts: Lagos West, Lagos East, and Lagos Central. The 40-member Lagos House of Assembly ensures adequate representation to spread good governance to the doorsteps of residents in 40 constituencies.
Representation is actually the foundation of democracy, especially for lawmakers. If 40 individuals represent various constituencies, all local governments in Lagos State, definitely the people at the grassroots level will be heard.
We receive protesters almost every other day here. And that's to show you that it's a community that is open to embracing and listening. We invite the people, we deliberate on it, sit down, and there's nothing that's ever been brought to the House that has never been resolved.
In the last 2 years, the 10th Lagos House of Assembly has passed several bills to support the economic well-being of the state.
The main problem that we have is electricity problem. So we've passed the bill of electricity bill that an individual or the department will generate for electricity and distribute.
The legislature also holds the executive accountable through its oversight functions in funds appropriation.
We are monitoring the money that we appropriate to ensure that it is judiciously used for the benefit of Lagos, and it is being done.
To sustain democratic values, speedy dispensation of justice falls within the purview of the Lagos Assembly.
We don't really do anything without involving the people and the residents of Lagos. So most of the time, before any law is passed, even if a law is being reviewed, right, we always have a public hearing here. So it creates fairness. It's for people to be involved.
These responsibilities come with challenges.
The challenges, I would say, are expectations. Expectations are really, really high. I tell everyone every time, I harp on it, every single time. Legislators do not have access to funds.
Political observers, however, believe there is need to strengthen the capacity of the legislature to improve its oversight functions so that the contribution to democratic governance by the law-making arm of government can be enhanced. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called on all stakeholders to speed up efforts towards ending child labor in all ramifications by strengthening our laws, supporting families and investing in quality education for every child. This is in her message marking 2025 World Against Child Labor Day with the theme, Let's Speed Up Efforts End Child Labor, while urging Nigerians to raise their voices for millions of children whose dreams are stolen by the harsh reality of child labor. The First Lady says it is unacceptable that children are still forced to work instead of going to school, pursuing their dreams and learning how to grow into productive members of the society. Now, leadership of the Nigerian Labour and Trade Union Congress have told the global community that a reduction of the review period for the new minimum wage in Nigeria from 5 to 3 years is a major leap for Nigerian workers. The union said the move, coupled with the negotiated increase of the minimum wage from 30,000 to 70,000 naira, represents a significant achievement of the Tinubu administration. Ignatius Nkwo reports.
After days of engagement and exchange of experiences at the 2025 International Labour Organization Conference in Geneva, Switzerland, Workers' Union from Nigeria, led by the President of Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajero, described the amendment of the review of the national minimum wage from 5 to 3 years as a marvelous bargaining feat and a reflection of the strength of collective negotiation.
We now have 70,000 naira minimum wage on 3 years review period. Even the 3 years review period, it is more advantageous.
But it's our responsibility to push to see to the 100% implementation so that when we get to 2027, we will not have any state that have not implemented the minimum wage.
The workers' unions acknowledged that the major challenge now lies in tackling inflation, which could undermine the purchasing power of workers. They informed the world that the federal government added a human face to the minimum wage process by providing a wage which served as a timely stopgap intervention.
Now, the question is that, can we check the inflationary trend so that whether it could be constant, so that we can now say that this are 70,000 is useful to us.
The union leaders stressed the need for adequate provision and implementation of compressed natural gas, describing it as a vital cushion to complement the wage increase. The union maintained that such infrastructure will help ease transportation costs and reduce economic pressure on workers.
Both union leaders call on member nations of the ILO to ensure full implementation of all resolutions reached by the International Labour Organization. They also called on owners of media organizations in Nigeria to ensure adequate and prompt payment of their workers' salaries so as to enable them practice like their foreign counterparts. From Geneva, Switzerland, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
This is where we end nationwide news as we join live broadcast of the Democracy Day lecture from the State House Conference Center.